me idea of what is going on. Not just the security tools, not data. And the moment the application data is also being analyzed, the volume of data that has to be addressed with the SIM solutions is becoming much, much larger, whereas the SIM solution really was not designed to be working at these volumes. And because many of these attacks will not really have an audit trail in place, so the SIM solution, right? So not only is a scale a big problem, but it's also difficult to write a correlation rule where there is just no data to work on. I mean, the low and stealth, the stealth attacks, because there is no audit trails, there is no way I can write a correlation rule to detect such kind of things, right? So that is where we start seeing the SIM solutions usability to reach a bottleneck as far as the new day attacks are concerned. So SIM is doing what it was doing. So it continues to do what, so for example, even an IDS today will be doing what it is supposed to be doing. It still sends us at least 5% of alerts from an IDS are still real. So plus the SIM compliance reports are still as useful as it was always. Right. So the period when SIM solution or an IDS solution was supposed to provide me value, those values are still there. But then because we are in a situation where we are seeing more and more attacks, we need to evolve from the SIM platform, from the IDS platform, and complement those platforms with newer technologies, with newer abilities to make it what we call as an advanced SOC rather than simply a SOC. Well, the advanced can be used in many, many different ways, but then just from for simplicity perspective, I'm saying it as an advanced SOC versus a simple SOC in which we are primarily looking into patterns. A simple SOC really analyzes patterns, predefined patterns, and it primarily analyzes audit trails with just the OS and infrastructure elements as the analysis platform. Right? So what we really need is to go beyond just the pattern-based match or the audit trail-based match. We need to increase our visibility. We need to be able to see more in terms of, as we mentioned earlier, in terms of the applications, how are they behaving, in terms of the actual transactions that are happening on the network, because not all transactions are really translating itself into some audit trails. So we do not really have a view of the transactions, and that is where we have a whole bunch of data that we are missing out while writing our correlation rules. So we need to have a bigger visibility into the transaction layer, the audit layer, the configuration layer, the business layer, what is more risky for me, what is less risky for me. So visibility needs to, so I'll delve into the visibility part a little more in my next slides. Apart from visibility, now that I have visibility, let's say I've collected all the necessary information, but the present day technologies really are not in a position to do that kind of number crunching to be able to do some analytics and find out what really is important for me, what is potentially a threat for me. This is something like, in the earlier days when we were doing MIS reports, at some point of time we thought that, okay, the Excel sheets were not really scaling up. We need something more to report on, and we moved into the warehouse technologies where we were doing more amount of information and we're doing faster analytics. And then at some point of time we thought, okay, the warehouse still was not really giving me what I need in terms of predicting what I need to do. So we move into the big data platforms where it was more of predictive analysis and all. So is the case that is happening with the security world. We were good enough in matching patterns of attack, and that was where the intrusion systems were doing good. Then we moved into a platform where it was not just the patterns but all the other audit trails that moved in. So that's comparable to the data warehousing scenario. And then we move into a platform platform where we're not just looking into the audit trails and IDS patterns or the antivirus results, but real transactions that are happening. Platform that can, what we call as, is that once we have all this bunch of data that we have been provided with, I will be in a position to work on them only when I am provided with only the relevant points to work on. I really cannot be looking into all the alerts that has been pushed to me and then try and figure out what to do with it. I need to be told that, okay, these are the top priority attacks and this is how you need to act upon them. How do you act upon them? We need to have a platform where those incidents are also managed, because today's platforms, as we talked about, human involvement, there is legal involvement, there is marketing involvement, there is a whole bunch of stakeholders who also needs to be involved when there is an incident, and more so if there is a breach. So we need to be able to manage these incidents in a more optimized manner, which goes beyond the realm of IT people. So our incident management capabilities need to evolve as well. So I'll delve into these a little bit more in my next slides, starting off with the comprehensive visibility part. What we see in terms of comprehensive visibility as of today is primarily look into